Hey everybody, this is Perch. I always like doing videos that YouTube will get all pissed about and basically demonetize and bring this. So we're gonna try to do this video. The title of the mail is Superman versus Meth Addiction. So to the YouTube censors that are listening to this right now to determine the algorithm, um, meth is a very serious drug. It is one that can destroy lives, homes, and health. Meth is terrible. And if you or a loved one are addicted to meth, please get help. There's nothing funny at all about meth. Now let's talk about Superman addicted to meth. So here's the email I got. It says, yesterday on a live stream, the YouTuber and comic book writer Grace Randolph mentioned in a live stream, speculating on James Gunn's plans for DC, that she once pitched a comic to DC about Superman trying to fight meth addiction in Smallville. To clarify, she means Superman trying to tackle meth use among the population of Smallville and not Superman himself on meth, though that would have been both awful and amusing. Is this, in your opinion, a good or a bad idea? And, I'll put the link in the video description to this YouTube video. She mentioned it apparently 25 minutes into the video if you want full context. So, all right. Is it a good idea to have a comic book of Superman addicted to meth? The answer is yes. 100% yes. It is absolutely a good idea. That would be a hilarious comic. I realized why I said at the beginning. I remember. And we've kind of seen, we've seen superheroes doing drugs before. We've seen, like the evil suit, like Ultraman. He's like snorting ground up kryptonite? Is that what he was doing? I don't know. Anyway, we've seen this. We've seen this in comics before. I think a lot of this stuff doesn't translate well to movies because at the end of the day, people do not understand kind of how you have drug addicted superheroes. They don't know how to quite get their head around that. It works in the context of The Boys where you're doing it like as dark humor. But if you're doing it as like a serious show of some kind, then it falls apart pretty quickly. I think you have troubles. But still, it can be funny. I'll tell you, I watched Smallville back in the day, and this was back when, like, do you remember? I don't know if it was just me. You tell me. And you'd have Clark there, and you'd have his buddy Allison Mack, and you'd have what is the Lana character? Kristen Krujek? Was that it? Anyway, they brought in super annoying Lois. And I don't know about you, but the entire time I watched the beginning of this show, I was like, Jesus, dump these two girls and go for Chloe. Like Allison Mack is where it's at. Go for Allison Mack. It'll be great. Like that, she's absolutely the girl for you. Like you're a good friend, good supporter, like clearly, that was right. He's chasing after dumbass Lana, who was just a pain in the ass, and then Lois, who was a bigger pain in the ass. It's Chloe. It was always Chloe. Get in good with Allison Mack. She'll take you to a private island. She'll brand you, get you into a sex cult. It's like, who could ask for more? Anyway, definitely things fell apart for Allison. If you don't know, by the way, if you watch Smallville and you don't know what became of Allison Mack, do I have an adventure for you? Stop watching this video right now and go throw in Allison Mack into Google and see what became of her. It's like a BuzzFeed article. You won't believe what happened to Allison Mack. Didn't see that one coming. Anyway, in that show, there was, I remember it's like the season 2 finale. I don't remember, or maybe the season. Anyway, Clark gets addicted to red kryptonite or gets on red kryptonite and just turns into a prick. And then Allison Mack also becomes an asshole. And that was great. That was great. I maintain my favorite Superman is always Dick Superman, just flying around doing shit. That's why I love Superman 3 so much. But to the real, to be serious about your mail for a moment, Superman doing a comic where he helped fight meth. Look, in the hands of a good writer, sure, why not? You can do, anything and everything, sure. I think you could do a good writer could probably handle that well, and I could see a story there where Superman is trying to fight these drugs that are destroying the community and destroying people from the inside, and it's just and he can see it like with his X-ray vision. He can see that people are destroying themselves, but at the same time he's helpless. because he does, that's interfering in a human's life. So is he, should he go and interfere in a human's life, or, should the human be allowed to kind of, for good or for ill, they've got to, and where do you draw the line? Does he start dealing with cigarettes and alcohol and, screen time and, eating at Arby's? I mean, where do you draw the line? Does Superman like perch outside of Arby's and just roast people as they go into the store? And when I say roast, I mean with his heat vision, not like, calling them fat or things as they walk in, but that also would be funny. Um, I think there's, where does Superman draw the line and how he interferes in humanity? And, how can he fight a villain that is, I mean, there's nothing he can punch. He's got to go and deal with kind of the tragedy of people destroying themselves and feeling helpless in that regard. I think there's a good writer could do a really powerful story. Well, on the other hand, a bad writer would do a shit story. And we've seen comics that tackle drug abuse before, and they're generally awful. I mean, a lot of people, always remember that, Green Arrow, Hal Jordan, Speedy's a junkie. And I mean, that wasn't the worst of it. I mean, there's been some, back when comic books were taking government money to do these kind of PSA type comics. I mean, there's some miserable ones. If you think the writing of, superheroes, pitching Hostess fruit pies is bad, you should see some of this shit that they've done for some of these other books. I mean, they're just awful crap. So overall, look, I think I would say, if you were asking me, if I was an editor and somebody came and said, I want to do a story where Superman fights meth addiction, I would probably be a no, because I think the odds of that story being a good one are close to zero. And I don't know. I think it's kind of like I've mentioned in the past. If you're going to have like Superman or the Justice League fight the climate crisis or starvation or some of these things, I think you have a really hard time on your hands, because the second you do need to do it. You can't. It's put it this way: you have two choices. You do a story where Superman wins and he actually defeats meth, but then at that point, you've got a universe where there's no meth. And then you would have to ask yourself, okay, so, what if cocaine? Like, why doesn't Superman go tackle cocaine? Is he going to leave that one alone? Heroin? So, all right, fentanyl. Is Superman going to go tackle that? It's like, and if he doesn't, then he's a real prick, because he shows he can deal with meth but can't deal with some of these others. So that's a problem. Or you have it defeat Superman. You basically have Superman try and fail, and he can't convince people to do things. You have Superman just kind of walk away sad that he's heartbroken, that he can't help humanity, and everything just sucks. And I mean, do you want to do that story? It seems like kind of a downer. That would be the logical outcome. But I mean, I don't know. Like how do you like in 2 issues later, and you got Superman like, I'll get you, parasite, or if an arc later Superman's fighting the Toy Man, like, what do you do? Like, I mean, how do you go from fighting meth and failing, and people have to die, and Superman is crushed because he can't do anything to help people from themselves, and then we're going to bounce over here and he's fighting the Toy Man who has a giant Jack in the Box that's going to punch a hole in the Empire State Building. I just think tonally you have problems there. So I would steer away from it. I think it's probably a bad idea. But how about you, the listener, right now? You want to see Superman fight meth, or do you want to see Superman on meth? What are you after? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. It's been nice having this channel. YouTube's definitely gonna, demonetize and take my channel off the air, since I said meth roughly 500 times in one video. So it's been good knowing you. Whoever thought? Everybody thought I'd be done in by mumbles, but it turned out it was meth. Well, drugs will kill you. Thanks for listening.